Welcome. Today is a special episode. As you can see, I'm talking in English. My name is Siim Oja. I'm the head of training and development in Siim Oja School, and you're listening to Patrulli podcast. Before I begin, I would like to greet my good friend Oliver, who is watching us at the moment, and he asked me to greet him. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Pedro Boehl, who is my guest today, and we can start. So, Pedro, usually I like to ask my guests on where they are coming from, what they are doing at the moment, and what do they plan to do in the future.
Okay.
So let's start with where are you? Where are you coming from?
First things first, I'd like to thank you, Sim, for this opportunity. It was a huge honor. Just a small context. When I was doing my research to move to Tallinn, because I'm from Brazil, the first thing I found from the training market and pet market was your name.
Oh,
So for me, it was I'm very happy and glad to be here. I was very eager to meet you, and today we can work together in some things, and this is awesome for me.
I guess we can talk about the things that we will do in cooperation with you in the future as well.
No, definitely. It will be always a pleasure.
It was a real surprise to me. I was pleasantly surprised that I found out that you are from Brazil. At first I thought you were from like Spain or Portugal. Talk a little bit more, like what it means for you, like Brazil and dogs.
So, dogs for me was something very deep on my DNA, if I say this way, because I grew up with a family always surrounded by dogs. My father and my grandmother, they were mainly my grandmother. She was a breeder in different times, from collie, dachshunds. My uncle, since I grew up in the countryside, some parts also, my uncle has a lot of dogs: German Shepherd, dachshunds, mixed dogs, Labradors. So dogs are thing very intimate for myself. So, and this love grows up also. And when I had my first dog, mixed terrier, which is living in Brazil with my mom, Ziggy. That was the moment the dog training, the dog psychology appears to me, and the moment I start to live with my father and my brother in my home city, because I live with my mom in the other state in Brazil. I need to work with him, like in the sense, if I tried this with him, where I can get, where I can take from him, like where I can go. And in this way, I start to my first contact with dog psychology and trainings, I guess pretty much from all guys. I started with 19 years to work with dogs. Was Cesar
You
Milan.
were 19 years old?
19 years old, exactly.
When your first job, on your first like real job with dogs.
And I use Ziggy as my portfolio to introduce myself for this, back in those days, 2011. From a friend from the vet school. She had a dog walking company, Super Nanny Dogs, back in those days. And we started to work together. That was like my first real job with dogs, but I was very motivated mainly because I was working a lot with Zig in his behalf and all those things. So it was good. That it was something very looking for me, mainly when I reached the vet school. Okay, I will work with dogs' behavior. That was something I truly want.
So let me just recap a bit. You started working as a semi-professional dog walker and handler in 2011. I I had my first service dog. Like no, I did all the tests and exams with my first service dog in 2011.
Well,
So in a sense, my job as a dog handler or a service dog handler also really started, and took off in 2011. So that's like a touching point for me with you. And the other thing that I find really interesting is that you started to work as a dog handler and a dog walker, and you thought that it would be a good idea to go study veterinary.
exactly.
Where did that thought, or this thought, where did you get this idea to study veterinary?
The study veterinary was like a dream child from since I was very young. I always talk to my relative, I want to be veterinary. But at the same time, I was working with dogs. I have this passion about the veterinary, so I went to the vet school. And I remember when I were in the vet school.
So you were studying and working at the same time.
At the same time. And the part of the dog psychology behavior I was studying by myself, because even in the back in those days, I have a few teachers. They tell me you should invest in this, Pedro, because nobody study that much this area, like the dog behavior and all this stuff. Of course, we have a few classes in the vet school about behavior, but it's like in the first 6 months of school, and then never more.
Oh, okay.
At least
first a little bit, and then never again.
And overall, from all
Because
all
now
I
you
know.
are smart and now you know everything.
And the fun fact, years later, I was already 100% focusing on dog training. I started to work with dog from my previous teacher in vet school. And back those days, again, you should invest in this career more strongly. So the dog training bring me to Estonia. So that's one of those things I like in my profession. This sense of you can work maybe whatever place you want it. You just need to kind of.
Dogs are everywhere.
Yeah, and it will be. I don't know if unfortunately or not, but it will be always some problematic dogs, some dogs needing help, and that's my goal. Like the thing I was aiming when I come to Estonia, it's work with a lot of different dogs, and which I am working. And this is crazy because breeds I never imagined appearing to me, and because in Brazil, because our size and culture, we have a lot of mixed dogs.
Mixed dogs.
From all types and all profiles. But in the last years actually, appears certain types of dog for me, like insecurities, afraid dogs, anxious dogs, and by this temper and behavior of the dog, some reactiveness also. So pretty much all my scope of working for it's in this those type of behaviors dog. And today, all my experience bring me to be the head trainer here in NufNuf. It was something new for me. Despite I know I have more than 10 years experience, but even so, it's new. And it's good to see all those type of dogs we have here. I guess from our culture in Brazil, daycare is something very important. Not only by to help the family of the dog, but from the aspect from the behavior. Because pretty much we have a lot of types of dog daycares in Brazil, but most of them is like more daycares, schooling daycare. So you go to work with the dog there. And
so the question that I am creating in my head is, you went to work in 2011. You started veterinary teaching and learning in veterinary school, and at the same time you were working. In what point does maybe some mentors or maybe someone who you look up to or who you learn from the most? Is there someone during this period when you were working and learning, or did you study yourself?
I can say I have a bit of luxem because I was starting studying by myself, the dog behavior and psychology. Like I said, my first contact was with Cesar Milan, and my father always, like every Christmas, gives me a new book from Cesar Milan.
Oh, okay.
He likes enjoy when he see me working with my terrier Ziggy. He's getting good. He's getting very well behaved. And then next Christmas he gave me another Cesar Milan book.
Okay.
But this was just the beginning. And I was studying by myself. So the point of I said about being lucky, it was I work with back in those days. I have Caleb with me here in Tallinn, Weimaraner, and I was working with his father, Aleph, and the previous trainer of Aleph started to help me. It was Mauro Palermo. Very trainer in my home city. Then he started to teach me a little bit, more guidance. You do those things with certain type of dog, you can work in this way. He started to give me some structure to walk with the packs. Even back those days, I already were a dog walker, but like I walked with 3-4 dogs, and then I start to get the taste of the thing. 8, 9, 10 dogs. And with those dogs appearing to me into my friend's company, start appears also bad dogs, or dogs not so well socialized, insecure, all types. And on one of those dogs we worked, we kind of asked for help for our clientele. We can manage him by their own will. Like we need something more experienced to help us. And then this client called for a dog trainer, a very renowned big name in the Brazilian dog training, Felipe Campelo.
In your region? He was like a big name in your region?
No, whole Brazil.
Whole Brazil.
Okay. But he lives in my home city.
So he was close.
Yeah, that's I guess that's the point. The lucky for me.
Okay, that's what you mean by the luck.
Yeah, because me and Felipe, we get very close, and then we start to work in several dogs together. He started a few training programs, and then with this dog we're gonna go this way. You already have some notion, so just follow your intuition, go working with this dog.
So he already saw something in you. And he found like something that the world needs, something that you can do well, and something that you can give to the world.
Yes, and then that's the point of luck, because we start to work together, and like I said earlier, I have more than 10 years experience, and time to time a dog arrived to me just to be our dog walker, dog sitter. And time to time this dog come to me like, I'm San Pedro, I've started training with Felipe. Felipe, yeah, that's my we keep in touch and discussing the dogs. If you're gonna go keep with the dog with Pedro, doesn't need my help. He can handle the dog. So kind of start this, but I don't have how can I say? I have the whole knowledge about the training and the psychology, but in that moment start to be very important to me. Have the certificate for dog trainer, and this leads me to 3 years ago, maybe 4. I went to Obediência Canina, a very well renowned.
That's the name of a human.
It's more or less like in free translation, like canine obedience in school.
Oh, okay.
And and also in my home state, and then I get my certificate
Okay.
training.
It was a dog school for dog trainers.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. And you finished it and
I
got your first certificate, like a professional certificate.
Then I start focus more in the dog training, change of
Mhm.
behaviors and stuff. Not something more like I say, because I train my dogs at my apartment,
Mhm.
and I kept a few dogs with me, working all those stuff.
Okay.
So it
You
was
were like
pretty informal. I say this way.
boarding dogs and
Mhm.
working with them in your home. In your home.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So for me, it was a little bit informal. So with the
Mhm.
certificate, I can guarantee my servicing and
Quality.
thing.
Mhm.
So quality as well. So
Mhm.
it was a huge moment in my life. Get the certificate, certification.
What changed?
Give more security to work with all type of dogs.
Mhm.
Like, cause I don't know so much about the story, but in Brazil, when people are crazy about dogs, and
Mhm.
they first love the dogs, and later they start to educate their dogs. So when you work with dogs in Brazil, you are exposing yourself to the whole world, of course. And time to time, it was always coming to me some bad experience, like people judging me because I was walking with like
Mhm.
15, 12 dogs at the same
Mhm.
time. And for me, like, this is not the problem because I always was very respectful with each dog on need, on individuality.
Mhm.
So, but the people don't understand this. They see me walking with a lot of dogs, small dogs, big dogs,
Mhm.
some dogs with halty, gentle lead, or whatever you want to call,
Mhm.
someone with
Mhm.
chains, someone with sleep lead. So
Mhm.
the judgment, it was the first thing. Oh, look at this guy. He's just making money for those dogs, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I
So.
thought as well. Like they are looking at you like a gold digger or something. Like he
Hmm.
just wants to earn a lot of money, and mm, it's hard for humans or other people when they look at you or what you do to understand what you are doing,
Hmm.
because the knowledge that we get from the experience and working with dogs, it's something that you can't give to anybody just like by showing
Hmm.
or talking or giving examples. Yes, they listen to you, but they only understand the things that you say in the moment, but they don't truly understand everything that we feel,
Hmm.
that we know, that we maybe can't even put into words.
Exactly. That's I guess it's one of those things we struggle in our profession because we know what it is right, but how we can explain why it's right. So.
What are the 10 reasons why it's
Hmm.
right?
Exactly.
Why I do something? Uh, because I have 7 things that I'm doing, because I'm doing one thing and
Hmm.
it looks like I'm doing one thing, but the reason I'm doing this is because of 7 things.
Exactly. Like I have a good example here in Italy. We're working with a reactive dog, and the owner was a little bit. I don't know how we can correct him, and I don't feel it's the same the good approach. Um, like I don't have problem with any approach. We can be, I guess, all trainers should be positive approach because
Mhm.
we need, but also we need to kind of balance the
Do
things.
you
Can
do you see yourself as negative?
no, I'm
Are you a
very
negative person?
I'm very balanced person, I would say. Cause that's the thing. I saw this in Estonia. I saw this in Brazil. Usually the people goes only to what their benefits for the dog, and okay, but it's a relationship between two species. Like
Mhm.
uh, should be some balance. Not only okay, I will do this because it's better for my dog, but it's better for you. It's good for you.
Mhm. It's
So.
good that you bring this point at the moment, because Enge also asked if you have if you can share your experience. Is there any difference like between Brazil, the training, the behavior, the problems that people have, and the problems that the people have in Estonia? Are there any differences? Basically, I already presume the answer, but can you open it a bit more, like the training part and the behavior modification part? Are there any
Of course,
differences in Brazil
definitely.
and Estonia?
One thing is a huge cultural difference between Estonia and Brazil is like it's quite difficult to work reactive dogs in Brazil. It's not because the problem is the dog, because the problem is the society. It's not open
Culture.
to discuss the methods you're gonna use, or despite the methods, the society has a like. I will bring up experience. For example, like I was in a park, very famous park in my home city, working with not that reactive dog, but still a reactive dog by fear. And come a golden retriever, not always a golden, but always golden. And I love golden, by the way, just to be clear. And then the owner just going, he's fine, he's very friendly. And then I said, but my dog is not. So no, don't worry. And like so, there's a few things in Brazil. It's like quite difficult. Some regions of our country, the dogs in certain social context not that good. And we have also some cultural things like the dogs can do whatever they want, and the people go open the door of the house and let the dog go for a walk, and then you are training your dog, comes a dog, or even because the size of our country, we have a lot of mixed dogs and street dogs. So you are just doing your job and come a street dog to bother you, and then you need to advocate the cause of your dog you're training, help your client, and so it's a little bit difficult. But in the last few years, the balanced training start to give more expression, because like I said, I don't have a problem with any approach, because that's the main thing. I guess me and you we are very balanced, so we know what is correct and what is good for the dog, so we're gonna use all tools we have,
all the knowledge we have, all the tools we have, all the experience we have.
And then but there in Brazil is also a very strong culture about the only positive approach. And okay, for me it's fine. I work with very positive, just strictly positive approach with a few dogs. Even this dog I was working, it's mainly positive because the dog is so afraid, because how can it won't work? Put a correction on the dog. And that sense, I guess by this cultural and social things we have in Brazil, it's difficult to work with some type of dog reactive, and mainly because part of the sign, not because part of the dog. So
when I'm listening to you, and the point that you brought out, like you can't use any methods, like you can't explain, people don't ask. If they don't ask, they look at you like, what are you doing? You are using the wrong methods. That's not different from Estonia, but what I think is different, the free running dogs and the street dogs. There's not a lot of street dogs in Estonia, and there's not a lot of dogs running around like everywhere. But I guess we just don't have, the culture is not different, but it's more regulated maybe. So people know that they have to keep their dogs inside. They don't want to let them outside because they will get like maybe a fine or something if their dogs are running around, and the dogs can get hurt very, very easily. But the difference with Brazil is basically, with Estonia and Brazil, the largest like difference is maybe the free roaming dogs. A lot of free roaming dogs. But Cesar Milan was called El Perrero in Brazil. Did you have the same name?
I have a few ones in my home city calling me like Dog Whisperer, something like this. But or in Portuguese, Encantador de Cães. But like not I like Cesar Milan, but he's just the first model, the first contact. So today I would follow much other people, not him, you know. So one of those things that people ask me when I was walking with my pack, like they are all friendly. Yeah, you're seeing they're all friendly.
Yeah.
But why did that one was using, I don't know, the halting?
The halting.
Because it's more comfortable for him, for me, and for the pack. But it's not a muzzle. No, it's not a muzzle. He's very fine. You can pet him if you want. So
It's not aggressive.
yeah,
It's
not at all.
simply better for me to control the dog, and the dog is also used to this technique that I use, or this muzzle that the halty that I use.
One thing, I guess, from both countries, people, and also by this influence of Cesar Millan, I have the impression people think like when we use this approach, which not constantly, it's not all the time. The work with the dog is not related to only this approach. They think is like more about strong, but it's not about strong. It's about to understand the need of the dog, is about to, like we said earlier, it's what is correct, what is good. Because from my knowledge, we always gonna lose for a dog in strength. Even Chihuahua, he can bite and he can hurt you, despite it's much
small on the outside, but it's strong on the inside, and always will be.
Well, you want to be the damage like a German Shepherd biting you, beating you, but like they always gonna win one on you. So for me, before I started to go to the canine obedience school, I was thinking exactly this: how I can work with my dogs and have a better relationship. Because I was a little bit attached still to only one method. Like I need to correct them. He's doing, and then one day, like I just have to, but when I teach the dog to do the things I want, you know, that's where the moment. Okay, I will go to do some courses, trainings with people more with more experience than I. Even I have good mentors through my whole experience. And one of those things I like a lot in the school I went, they said all the time, relationship, focus on the relationship, and the focus on the create a good bond, and the dogs being focused on you. Because my professors there, my teachers there, they train the dogs for IGP, mandarin, so it's a very important part of the training in this dog sport. And that's one thing I like a lot. Like, man, we should have everybody a good relationship with dog.
A relationship like this. It's the same with me, that when I worked as a dog handler in the Estonian prison service, the experience that I gained from training dogs professionally on a very fine level, like sit means sit, down means down, trail tracking, do it correctly, don't do what you like, do what you want, but we are working together and we are doing everything together. Our relationship is very good because I'm useful to you and you are very useful to me. And the same things are going around in my head as well. I got to know Cesar Millan with my first service dog, because the thing that I was trying to do with loose leash walking is I tried several different methods, several clicker training, rewarding, turning around, standing still, going back, going forward, every different muscles, all the halties, the different colors. And I was watching the Dog Whisperers show before that, but I was looking for other things that Caesar did. I didn't look at the walking part so much. And at first, when I started using methods, they didn't work. So all also in the same, like having the same problem, that I have seen from TV that it works,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work with me. So what am I missing? What I'm not what I am what I'm not seeing that Caesar does. And that's when I took his book, his first book, and I read it. And then I realized, like, I have to change. Like, I can train. All my methodology was based on training my dog, training, teaching, and I was not like focusing on myself, what I'm feeling, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, how I'm behaving. And I remember this change like really well. It was like maybe 2 days. Like I was struggling for 2 years and I didn't achieve what I achieved in 2 days, just because what I changed in myself, in my thought process, not in my methods, not in my tools, but just in me, inside me, in my thoughts. And my dog just understood me much better, was much more relaxed, and I was finally like, Heureka, like, I got this. And this opened up a whole new world. And my first service dog was very anxious, very nervous. There was a lot of stress in him. And I started to see it. I started to work with it. I didn't finally, I just understood that he's not like suitable for this work that he does. So I retired him. I took a new dog and did everything correctly. At least I thought so. The training methods that I used were all positive, only clicker training. The bite was good. The dog was strong. The dog was very powerful. The tracking ability of this dog was like next level. But what I understood was that I created a dog for a purpose, for another purpose, for not something that I want to do, not the dog that I want to live with. He was a very good working dog. He knew all the commands. He knew how to work. He had all the work ethics, but still it was something missing. And in a sense, I also understood that I was doing something with the dogs that I absolutely don't need to do at all. Because dogs are simple, dogs are profound, like they are natural beings simply living in this world, and you can live with them without training. In a sense, without training. Because I don't take like setting boundaries and limitations as training. It's just raising dogs. I raise my dogs according to standards, morals, and rules that work in the dog world. And that's what I see in you. That's what I have experience with you, how you move, how you act, what you are talking about, what you are seeing, what you are explaining. And that's when I want to come to the Estonia part and the now part. So you came to Estonia when?
Pretty much 1 year ago.
1 year ago. Oh,
I can say that
new guy.
A bit recently.
Yeah. What was your first experience?
I arrived in like September, October from last year.
Okay, before winter.
Before winter. This winter was something that was concerning me a lot. Not because of me, because like I can put a lot of jackets and coats and okay, I'll be fine. But because of Kali, my dog, he's like a tropical dog.
Yeah.
And in the end, Kali like a lot snow, running in snow, play, all those things. Despite he doesn't like the cold weather, but he survived. And then when I arrived in Estonia, I went first to the Brazilian community to start work with a few dogs.
Where is the Brazilian community in Estonia? Is it a secret?
It's a magical place.
Yeah, a magic place somewhere where I haven't been.
We have like WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, all those stuff.
Like social
Then
communities, like
then
social media communities.
that's perfect. And then okay, let's do some marketing. Then I start to walk with people, talking, meeting other people. I reach a few dog sitters here. But was one very good dog sitter. I recommend all the time for clients who ask me. Spa, of course, I suggest first the NufNuf hotel, but later, okay, I prefer something more intimate. Say, okay,
Yeah.
you
Some
go
dogs
to
need
the,
other methods and other like environments.
then it was Medley. We walk a few times with the dogs she was sitting back those days, and she introduced me a little bit, the idea, and later some people find me in one of those Facebook groups. It was a couple from Argentina, turned to friends. We talk with each other pretty much all the time. And I start to work with their English bulldog. Very chill, playful, energetic dog. The fun fact was Caleb has already had some beef with bulldogs, but with this one he very tolerated. They play together. And also before Caleb arrived in Tallinn, which took 1 month and a half. Caleb, my dog. Like Caleb.
His name is Caleb. Okay.
Caleb.
Your dog's name is Caleb.
Very convenient for Estonians.
Yes, Kalevipoeg. It's very Estonian. Okay.
And then before Caleb arrived, he arrived after me, like 1 month and a half later. I have all this time to organize myself, build some agenda, schedules, working, mainly with Brazilians. I know here, dog sitting, a few trainings. And then my wife helped me with some marketing inside boat. Then I start to work with some people of both, some other. Then a friend indicate me from a guy who has a dog inside Wise, and then start to the things manage. Till I found in Facebook group some post about NufNuf, and I was NufNuf. Man, I live close to Kabamaya. Come and go to Kabamaya. NufNuf, okay, well, bad stuff, beautiful, good things, and. Then the first daycare in Estonia. First daycare in Estonia. That's so good.
First real daycare in Estonia. Yeah.
And then
Cage free.
Cage free, exactly. So here I am. I guess with my experience, I can bring a lot of things for the Estonian community. It was a huge thing working here. Like I said in the very beginning, it was still something new for me. I'm learning a lot. Despite so far we can see a few very common behaviors from the Estonian families with dogs, like
it's a culture thing.
Yeah. But it's getting good. Like I'm enjoying be here. We have a very successful work with few dogs, and pretty much all our dogs, they are very well behaved. We just need to adjust one thing or another. Despite we are not a school, even so, I like to say we doesn't teach the dog. We just conditionate him to a good manners and good calls, make good choices here. And one thing I always spread, I have from Cesar Milan, one of those things I learned to him is like the power of the pack, power to the pack. And for me, it's pretty much like this. We are able to build a pack, show to the Estonian culture, like how dogs work in packs. So each dog here inside the daycare has a function. Maybe they don't know, but they intrinsically have.
Yeah.
So when we work with a dog and we get a very good relationship with the dog, me, or can be even with Ivor, the dog sometimes chose one dog sitter or other dog trainer. we start to count with this dog for a few things, for helping us to deal with a different dog and a rival dog coming here. So that's the beauty of the pack.
You have worked here for then half a year,
A little bit more.
a little bit more. Have you had any? It's a question that Inge asked and wants to know. Have you had like any experience either with a dog or a dog owner that has taught you a lot during the time in Estonia or even during the time in Brazil? Do you remember a special case?
I guess yes. We had that's one of those type of clients I like. Usually I call these clients not owners, but dog enthusiasts. They came to us looking for socialization for her dog. He's still a bit excited dog, but when he arrived for us, his excitement leads him to reactiveness, fight, independent males, females, and all things we set for her to do with the dog, she truly started to do, put in practical. And today the dog is very chill. It was one of the most easiest dog to work here.
Okay.
Because he came, sniff everybody, play a little bit, and go to chill at some point, take a bone to chill. And
so you would credit this to the owner?
Yeah, definitely, because sometimes, even in Estonia, but in Brazil also, it's I guess because you have a little bit different experience from me, so maybe you can reach better the human mind. I'm not that level, so
no. Definitely not.
But I guess both sides need to be open. Like we pass some ways to the owner deal with the behavior of the dog. Sometimes I'm okay, and the others okay, I will try, and then she tries. Like then we introduce a few theoretical parts from the owner. She okay, it makes sense. I saw it. And she keep trying any different thing from the dog. She tell to us like, he start to do this. How can I go this way? Avoid or try to put some reward or wait to him calm himself down. So I like to work with this type of clients because usually they take it very serious the dog behavior. We have one other client here. Unfortunately, he's not Estonian, but he lived in Estonia for a while. And his first dog, and he doing everything we say, we try. Sometimes he come to bring the dog for the daycare. We keep like 30-40 minutes discussing the dog behavior and so him.
Short sessions.
And pretty much all clients, when they arrive here to let the dog to socialization, to go for a walk or for a training, they always say, so good to be here. So they pass for us such an good energy and things. Even today, like we have a few clients at the same moment arriving the same moment. They are everybody looking the structure of the pack. Everybody sniffing each other. One's playing, other was just laying down observing. So, but I have this through the NufNuf. I met the Estonian people. And there's a few ones marking me because they are very open, very happy to let the dogs with us, and very open, mainly open to heard to listen what we can say about the dog, how to improve the relationship, the well-being of the dog. So
didn't you have the same experience when working in Brazil? The super nanny dog.
In terms of, I didn't mention this, Siim, but I worked in the super nanny for 2-3 years, and then later I started my own business. So I can say for the last 8 years I was working by myself. And yeah, definitely. It's not I'm not criticizing the Estonian, but the Brazilians very open. People like everybody can be a party and things. So many of my clients they turn into friends.
Friends.
We hang out together. I took care of the dog because with a few clients here in Estonia, I feel the same way because. And I keep telling for our staff here, we are dealing with lives. So at least in Brazil, they are giving part of their family for us. We need to take care, we need to to guide them.
So in a way to rephrase it is that things that you have learned or owners of Estonian owners or even different native owners in Estonia are totally different than the humans or people in Brazil.
Yeah, it's a more cultural thing, but even so, it's good to get the experience. And like I said, it's not a critical, not criticizing anybody, but it's good when you person come to the daycare very open to see how the things go and stuff and understand why we're doing this with we to take time to the dog feels comfortable. Okay, it's fine for me. And I have so far I had good experience in Estonia. Doesn't let me down with anything. Of course, we have always the exception in all parts of the.
It's usually, I don't think any persons who come from outside Estonia have to feel like bad about Estonian people, and usually our culture is very not very. We are open for everyone. We are not maybe so festive. We don't have siestas, but and we won't. Yeah, for sure we are more closed, like socially closed. You are saying, and that's the main problem that we have in Estonia with adults or humans in general, because you have to do a lot of work to gain their trust, so they can open up themselves to you. They can open up their world to you, their life, their social life, their secret things that they don't want to talk about. And that's the hard part in Estonia if you are a dog behaviorist or a dog trainer, because you have to pry them open. You like have to be something amazing or something very mind opening to gain their trust. But the things that you do here, NufNufi päevahoid, purjeva päevahoid, is something that's eye opening. And I have been here a few times. I have been in this room a few times. I have been in this room with dogs, with people coming in, and I have heard you talk to clients. I have seen you work with clients. And I understand also that they are not all Estonians. It's very international bunch that come in from the door. And this is, in a sense, helpful for Estonia in general, for the culture in Estonia, for the dog culture in Estonia. For all these people who are like the first ones who try out what this experience is. And for me, it's amazing to look at 16 dogs at one point, 25 dogs in one room. No, not in one room, but they are everywhere around here. And the power of the pack, yeah, you can feel it. And the thing that I like the most, when I start my podcast, it usually starts at 19:30, 30 past 7 in the evening. But I told to Dagmar also today that I finish work. I work right next door, and I'm glad to come here because I can simply come here, sit here, stand here, and simply look. simply watch what the dogs are doing, how they are communicating, what the social structure is, how it's changing constantly. Dogs are coming in and out. This is like, no, this is fantastic. But no, I have also worked in a dog hotel, and I know myself that I can't do this the whole day. For a few hours, it's okay, but for 12 hours or 8 hours, for me, it would be, I think, too much. It would tire me, just like not physically, but mentally.
Yeah, indeed, it's work demands a lot of us. Since we work with, like I said, the dogs, despite being a dog, it's like he's part of the family. He's some individual in the family. We are trainers. Usually, we are try to be most empathic with the dog. Why he's feeling this? Why he acting this way? So sometimes we can take for us this feeling like, I want to help you so bad, but like, and working with in this intensity can be sometimes a bit something like, okay, let's chill a little bit. Let's not the moment for this dog. So that's I guess one of those difficult parts from our job, because we know we have the condition to work with the dog to help this family, but it's not the proper time.
Yeah, there are a few things that come to mind with that. That's the same problem. No, it's not a problem that I have. It's not a problem that you have as well. But the most important thing for us is to know that we can help the dog and we want to help the dog. But we also have to assess ourselves and our capability at the moment. If we can help the dog, or do I have the time to help the dog? And do I start now if I know that I can't finish it? Or do I start now because I know that this helps right now, right here, and I'm ready to do this? Sometimes it's a problem. In a sense, it's a problem that, or it's not a problem, but it's always the same. That I know what I'm doing, I know what the dog needs, but I also feel like the people around me judge me, and they don't expect any. They don't know what to expect because they don't know what I'm doing. And this is the hard part with being a balance trainer or being a natural trainer. That again, we come back to this knowledge part where we know what we do, what we are doing. We know that the dog needs it, and the dog needs it now. And if I don't do it, no one else will. Do you have the same like feeling on a daily basis, or something similar to this?
Yeah, of course. Like I said earlier, like when we work with, at least in Brazil, but I guess also in Estonia, when we work with dogs, we are exposing ourselves to people judging us. And I already saw my experience in Brazil. Some trainers, okay, I don't want to work anymore with dogs because people doesn't understand why I'm doing this and stuff. And I was, I can handle this, like, but. I know we can reach a level of expectation from both sides, from our side and from the family side, the client. And as we try to work in the most balanced way, sometimes we need to step back. Okay, it's not the moment for me. I already passed through this, even in Estonia. Like, okay, sorry, I can help you right now.
In a year.
Yeah. And sometimes we start to feel okay, but like in Brazil, people are saying, you are, I don't know exactly English word to say this, but you are show off because you don't want to work with my dog. No, another one want to work. I want to work, but when I have,
but you don't want me to work.
Can be also some case, but more like I want to work for him, but I want to do a good job for him, not some medium
not
term.
half of the work, or
Mhm.
quarter of the work, or maybe even less of the work. Yeah, I get what you mean, because I have also turned down some job. No, someone wants me to work with the dogs.
Mhm.
I'm asking, what's the problem? What you are doing? They are sharing photos with me, and I'm like, nope, not for me, not my case. I
Mhm.
can't help them, because the way they interact with me is a signal for me that they are not ready to learn.
Mhm.
When you are a trainer, when you are a good trainer, and people are talking about you, then there can be some persons who just want to get your service because someone else said that it's good,
Mhm.
but they haven't done the work themselves, like really thought about the problem. Is it me? Where is it? Do I really want to know? Am I ready to learn? Am I open enough to learn? Gesundheit.
Okay, it's good.
It's in a sense it's not a problem for
Mhm.
us, because when you don't want to learn, and you are not able to learn, and you don't have the experience in your life that this is correct, and you don't see the end game, in a sense you don't know the things that we know that can happen. It can happen in a day, it can happen in 2 weeks, it can
Mhm.
happen in 2 years, but it will happen eventually.
Exactly.
You are not a quick fix trainer, I'm not a quick fix trainer. We just know the end,
Mhm.
the result that can come in the end if you put the work in it. It's not always simple, it's not always a straight line, but yeah, Estonian culture is not there yet.
Mhm.
The learning culture, the teaching culture, to accept that some things are very expensive,
Mhm.
and they take a lot of time, and you can't buy everything, but you have to understand that the service that you get is like almost maximum quality that is possible from this I don't know, state,
Mhm.
from Estonia. So yeah, I know a few things that are planned planned for the future.
Mhm.
So I like a lot what is happening now. The now is like already making a mark in Estonia,
Mhm.
largely thanks to you. And I know that there are a lot of other persons that have also contributed to this possibility a
Mhm.
lot. But can you talk about a little bit where you are heading? What's your plans for the future?
I came here to take a lot of experience I can get.
Mhm.
Uh, Meeting you, one of those. Already meet other uh, dog trainers here, stuff. And I don't have to. I don't have the intention to come back to Brazil so close, like in the next years, because I guess and I feel not only Estonia but the other countries, like I said, I guess it's one of those bitter things to our profession. We can kind of move around that. I guess it's the feeling
Work
of
everywhere.
yeah, that's one of those feeling of pack, always migrating,
Uh-huh.
and also dogs speak all universal language. So
Mhm.
I still intend to work with other countries, kind of learn from their culture things
Mhm. Mhm.
for them when the moment arrive, come back to Brazil. One of those things I was very eager to work in Brazil before I was planning before I go to move to Estonia.
Mhm.
It was working with working dogs,
Mhm.
mainly being figuration, like to train dogs for EJP, mentoring.
Okay.
And because in Brazil we have this space, quite empty space for figuration trainers. And also, I think this is very important for the whole training from the dogs from IGP. We have like 3 or 4 trainers, more or less from my age. Very good, but full schedule for different trainers from around the Brazil. I know a very good trainer in Finland. I follow her in the social media stuff. I know a few ones in Czech Republic, so kind of we are close. I guess Estonia has to be a good trainers and figuration, so that's one of my things. But one thing what makes me motivated in our profession is the change of behavior working with pets, like the dog pets. And I would like to maybe build my own place in Brazil. My like something I can call my own, my home. Like I work with many of my dogs at my apartment, but something with more structure, more assets and stuff, and truly put my love and my knowledge in those dogs for any types. We know there's no bad dogs, I guess. They are just bad. Sometimes we have bad owners with good dogs, and but to work with them, change behavior. Because when I got Caleb, one of my aim with him, it was he's gonna be my dog, but also gonna be like I'm a trainer, so I need to have a dog model, per se this way.
Okay.
And
On whom you can like show what you know about dogs and what you can teach the dogs.
exactly. So
And you took the breed.
the most difficult breed.
Yeah, it's not
Most
quite the
common.
breed that you can use as a model.
Exactly. But it was a childhood dream, have a Weimaraner. And the universe conspiracy. But with when I talk in dogs, like we have here in the NufNuf, I think in socialization, dogs can follow you wherever you go, be very cool, very easy going. Like Caleb pretty much he follows me everywhere. And sometimes I'm going to a cafe, some restaurant, and he's there laying down. People, I would love my dog to be like this. And, but I never tell for the people I'm a trainer. But no, you just need to put into work, you know. So that's before the dog be part of the family, we need to see the dog as a dog with their own needs, respect them, and work on them. So I guess the thing I would like to impact more people in that sense, you know. And I think with my own space, we can say like a school, daycare, I would be able to reach this level. Because let's say in Brazil, I have a lot of clients, a lot of people already know me, my home city. I have good contacts, so I guess this is gonna be, or I go to figuration, or I go
This
to
will be a possibility.
yeah, exactly. So, but it's quite difficult for me think and talk about future because as dogs, I like to live in the moment, in the present, and so far I'm very glad with what I'm able to help to bring to Estonia culture. And even enjoying even more those contacts we are I'm doing. And so far, I don't have like intention to leave Estonia. I'm happy here. I feel I can impact even more people here. So
yeah, we have a question from a viewer. So the thing that she's asking is basically that in your experience, are there dogs who absolutely can't get along with any dogs? Or Can every type of dog function in a pack?
I guess yes. To be very honest with you guys, I never worked with a like very difficult dog, and then we can go to that way we discussed earlier. We know what it's good and correct for the dog,
Mhm.
but I have the moment to do this because, like I said, right now there's no bad dogs. They can be, I guess, they are just not fully understood by part of the owner or
Mhm. Mhm.
someone who deal with the dog. And we have a lot of tools to manage the dog in a pack.
Mhm.
One of those I barely use, like one of those tools, the e-collar,
Mhm.
but I know e-collar can save lives, can
Mhm.
help a lot of families. Uh, Even when I was in Brazil, Felipe Campello teach me to use a little bit one specific case, aggressive dog, and was the only dog I work, so I prefer not to use. I have other
Mhm.
tools to use.
Mhm. Because you
So
have seen it so little, and you are not very experienced with
is
the
that?
tool.
But
Mhm.
like I said, I guess we have ways to work with the dog in pack and tools to make this more comfortable for the dog and for us.
Mhm.
So I don't feel like there's no dog can be with other dogs, like, because that's the true nature of him being a pack.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the true nature of a dog being a dog.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm trying to preach or talk all the time. Like they are the same thing. There are no bad dogs or there are no aggressive dogs.
Mhm.
Like the dog was born aggressive. The dog's mother was anxious and nervous and barking a lot. That's why the puppies of this mother are also nervous and barking a lot and aggressive. And I just remember the feeling, like it's not like only one time that I had this feeling that I'm sitting next to the dog. The human is talking this fairy tale,
Mhm.
and I'm just not feeling it. The dog is talking something no, opposite of this what I'm hearing. But again, I understand where this behavior comes from, why the dog acts like he or she acts, and all the things that the human has to learn.
Yeah.
So
It's not.
am I giving all the knowledge that I know right away? Like here's the package and do these 10 things. You can't usually do this, but what my experience is that even if I like change 2 or 3 things, maybe major things,
Mhm.
the humans don't know that they are big things in a dog's life. I know that they are big things in this dog's life. And this already changes the behavior of the dog. So there is no need for my services anymore.
Mhm.
So I know that you also have like this scale from 1 to 7.
Mhm.
So in a sense, what I'm thinking about like a scale where we work and where we change the behavior of a dog. If the dog is like on level 2 or level 3 and we bring him to 5,
Mhm.
then it's already better for the dog and for the human. Our goal for you and me is always to get the dogs to 7,
Of course.
and it's a possibility that we know that is there. And the things that you can do here can give you this possibility to bring all the dogs to 7, no, to 6 at least. All the dogs to 6.
It'll be perfect, a dream.
Yeah. But yeah, in a long run, I also see that it can go to 7 for all.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, peer aggressive. This human will destroy you. So I know that you are I don't know how much you can talk about it, but NufNuf is getting larger.
Mm-hmm.
So how I see it from the side, looking on what you do, what you have already done, what has changed, what has like opened up some doors and ways to deal with the Estonian culture.
Mm-hmm.
uh, can you also sense something changing or seeing the change on a daily basis? What is there something that has changed from when you started and from where you are now? I know it's only been 8 or 9 months.
Mm-hmm. I came to this project with NufNuf knowing that I can bring a lot of things, and with help from everybody who passed through here, and also Ivor, who most of the time will keep it up with me, the dogs. We are able to change a few dogs, even a little, you know, and when a few dogs for us can be like a little, but for the owner it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine, like I mentioned before, we have like this enthusiast client. The dog stopped to be reactive outside because we start to socialize and provide a few things for him, a good environment. Of course, reactiveness is a difficult case. Time to time, the dog shows again the behavior, but she
It's
said
a reaction that you can't change so quickly.
Exactly, but she said, no, it's much more comfortable work. And with my experience and help of Ivor, we are building mainly here inside in our staff a place we can discuss about dog behavior and listen to each other. And as you said, we are expanding our place. We are going a few steps forward in the sense to start to work more the behaviors of the dog. We're gonna have more assets to work with all type of dogs, and even those dogs just want to have a good moment with us, they will be very well welcome. And those dogs, somebody who needs some help, gonna pass through this evaluation. We put levels. We already keep in touch with you to keep him by our back, so to be good, we can work on some dogs together. And of course, like I said, we always looking for the well-being of the pack, and this is including us as humans and our dogs we have. So we don't want to expose any dog to just come here and get stressed. Because we don't feel so ethic from him. But one of those things we are aiming to work a little more certain types of dog and levels, despite the mainly profiles, it's insecurities and anxious dogs, which we already have some tools to work, and we are being have been working. But in the next place, we have more tools, more assets, and I guess it's a very promising opportunity. We are able to create new space. And
create something that is not present currently in Estonia.
And literally give, I said all the time this to Ivor, we have this opportunity to put some like standards in dog behavior in Estonia, and what is good and what is less good. And so that's our expectation for them: bring more dogs, socialize more, work more, all aspects, since mind, physical, and social, because that's the truly nature of them, being with other dogs. And we are eager to start with those new dogs and work with more dogs. So let's hope still in this month we can be there, and we're gonna have open doors for all clients and dogs.
Another question that we have had in the chat is quite a good question. Like, can you take fear aggression? Can you take fear aggression out of the dog?
In my experience, unfortunately, fear we doesn't take from a dog. We can give them ways to deal with this fear.
Mhm.
They're not that rational as us. I don't know, I'm feared to take a flight, take a plane,
Mhm.
and then you go to a therapy, you go to the stuff. But like I said, we can give tools and ways for him start to show some improvements.
So you were talking about the other dogs as well, as you can call clients to bring their dogs who can help this anxious dog. Can you arrange something like this? Like, I don't know. It's not like I order a few dogs here. Like, hey, come with your dog. I need your help. Can you do this, or is it a possibility also to help anxious and nervous dogs?
It's a possibility because we have some clients. We suggest bring the dog in a few certain frequency and some specific days. And then if you have some like fearful dog, we chose usually the days with confident but easygoing dogs because he's gonna be more comfortable. We can put a dog with this profile on a day with a lot of dogs, playful dogs, because the energy to be too high, the dog would be, oh gosh, what am I doing here? So that's one thing we can manage here in the NufNuf. And again, I'm gonna say that's the power of the pack, you know. So we can put a new individual to be inside this pack, and the pack will okay.
So yeah, it's a perfect question for Caroline. Perfect answer for Caroline, because even I didn't think of this type of answer in the beginning. Of course, you can work with anxious dogs. Of course, you can help them with other dogs. You can help dogs with fear aggression. You can use the power of the pack. You can think about there are no bad dogs. You can use all this knowledge and know-how and experience that you have had. But the correct answer is always that fear in a dog, it doesn't like go away or lessen. It just becomes, he just learns to deal with different social challenges in his life. And the thing that humans have to know, that is something that the dog has as a temperament or as an energy that he has with what he has been born, what has been given to him, that always stays with him or her, and it doesn't change. What changes is his perception of the world. But that's the same that I say with aggression as well, that I just can't figure out how a dog is born into this world to be aggressive. Like, what's the point of it? Why does he need to do that? He doesn't need it. There's no outcome of it. No. Okay, it can be sometimes necessary when they are like free roaming dogs or just natural dogs living outside. They are catching prey. They are searching for prey. They are killing prey animals. But it's for doing something that they need to do to survive. Dogs that are living with humans who are feeding them, they don't need to kill to survive. But still, you get a lot of aggression cases. At least I have a lot of aggression cases.
A few ones to you, isn't it?
So yeah, the thing that I'm most excited about is the puppy school that starts from 9th of September. And you have offered me to not attend, but to give one class, one theme. And I'm so lucky that I could even choose that I can choose what I want to talk about. like, and I can share the experience with you. We can work together. We can change ideas. We can look at dogs together. It's like it's fun. It's interesting. It's intellectually challenging sometimes, and then that's what I enjoy about it. Enjoy about this service that you have. Enjoy about you being in Estonia. Enjoy about you being a Brazilian. It's very interesting, and also every time that I interview someone who is a dog person, so to say, a dog person, I find so many like same changes in his life or in his life circle, or not a circle. I'm calling it life spiral. So it's constantly going up and around and around and around. You are building on knowledge that you already know, and I can see so many like touching points that are the same. It doesn't matter if you live in Brazil or you live in Estonia or live in I don't know, Russia, Ukraine, that are very important at the moment, or Germany, and and the similarities with you and me is also this professional dog training, like been there, done that, found it interesting, but but through that I have also found many more things. And of course, I'm not Cesar Milan. You are not Cesar Milan. You are Pedro Boehl. Is it correctly pronounced like this?
Bill.
Pedro Boehl.
Pedro Bill.
Bill.
Bill. It's
Pedro
like
Bill.
German surname.
Oh, it's quite like lazy, like Pedro Bill.
Bill.
I'm
Bill.
Siim Oja. I'm
Siim
me.
Oja.
You are you. You are authentic. You are real. It's good to see that you are here in Estonia. I think I have found a person to share my ideas with, to think together, to sit together, to discuss together, and change the culture of dog ownership or dog lovership or dog maintenance in Estonia.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. So like I said in our very beginning, because one of the first names who appears to me in the internet looking for pet market here.
That's interesting.
I remember because I
told
saw it took like 8 months when we met each other,
Yeah.
despite we know each other.
That's why you were looking at me like that when we first met. You're like, I know you already.
I was nervous. I was nervous.
Sooner you were turning red.
Oh gosh, he knows me. He knows me. Oh gosh.
Oh my God, see, you is in the same room with me.
You don't tell me this, Ivor. Why? But it was like, I remember in the very beginning, Ivor said, I'll go to Siim Oja's podcast, and then he said he wants you be there. And, oh gosh, with which clothes I need to use for this? Like I said, it's an honor. It was such a privilege. We can start to build this partnership and relationship. I saw a lot on me and you, not only about training methods, but as person. And I don't know, I guess this can be just the beginning of our huge partnership and friendship.
How I feel it or understand it is it will continue even if you are not present in Estonia.
Definitely.
That's the thing that we need more and more, like people like us, like you and me. They don't have to be male. They can be female as well. Just to have the same experience, to have the same methods, to have the same knowledge as we have. It's not an easy path. It's not a one school thing. Like go and learn and then you are ready. You have to like grow into this world of dogs and be very open and mindful, and a lot of self-study is also in all the things that we do. Oh yeah. Karol is saying that he also wants to teach in the puppy school, give a lecture. Caroline is a therapist, no, so to speak. He does dog massage. He has been in our podcast as well.
That's
It's always
why
good to
right
see
away.
that they are watching and giving their part in questions.
Also about the pup school, it was something very new to me because my dog trainer experience, I were called more. "Oh, my dog is like this way. Can you help me? Okay, let's take a look and go through." And it's a important thing. We give knowledge to owners to build a dog. Like I said, my aim is build a dog very sociable who can follow you wherever you go, do whatever you want. And with your support was something, okay, I can do this. Like Ivor told me, let's meet Siim and talk about it. And you are gonna be with me in one of those lessons, so it'll be a very cool experience. And I'm eager to start this pup school next weekend.
Oh, it will be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun. And because they're pups, so who doesn't love pups? But also bring this knowledge I have learning Estonian.
Maybe they will listen to you because they don't listen to me. At least I feel like that. Maybe they will listen to a dude from Brazil.
This guy's from Brazil.
Yeah, he's from Brazil. Okay. It was very nice talking to you this evening. I'm happy to be outside of my home. I haven't been outside for a very long time. As I understand, all the audio is good, the picture is good. We got it in the bag. So I don't know. I would like to thank you from my heart. It has been a long like wish list for me to have you in this podcast. And I'm also maybe I'm an emotional person, but I'm also very critical of what I say, what I do, who I interact with, where I put my energy in. So that makes it so much more important for me for you to be here today, to sit here today, to talk about all the right things. Like you could have your own podcast easily.
I'm too shy for this thing. I'll let you with you,
Okay.
but thanks so much for the opportunity. For me, it was a huge thing. Like I can speak for myself. Like for my career, arrive in Estonia and see someone with the same methods, same mind, and also very emotional people. So it's good. It feels like more home to me, even more welcome.
Oh, thank you.
So we have NufNuf always have open doors for you. Just can buy.
Yes, I have noticed it. Haven't been sent back from the door yet.
Just pass by, take a coffee first, see the dogs, we can discuss. Because as trainers and dog lovers, we can spend like 10 hours speaking about dogs or just admiring us.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. Consume us more than working with them properly. But
so to wrap today's episode up, I would like to thank everyone who has supported our show, everyone who has been listening today, everyone who is listening to us, to the recordings that we put up in Spotify and Apple Podcasts and in YouTube as well. The best way you can support us is by liking and sharing. I can say it in English, like and subscribe.
Put the tag in here.
Tag it. Hashtag. Yeah, and we will be available for you to listen and watch the next week as well on Wednesday, 7:30 each week. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I guess I have to end in Estonian because the thing that I say in the end always is teadmatus ei ole lollus. Nii et paneme selle kasti kinni ja näeme teid järgmine nädal kolmapäeval 7:30. Aitäh teile!
aitab Pedro.
Pedro saab ka lehvitada. Ei saa. Nii, ma peab siit kuskilt selle kinni panema.